good morning. Welcome back to another episode, should we say, of the Moore Army podcast. Welcome to this Tuesday's edition of the program. Hope you're all keeping well out there as always. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is you decide to switch on this podcast. But hello, I hope you are all had a great weekend this past weekend. I hope you are all doing well. And we're back here for more chit chat, answer more of your questions, talk about what's going on in the world, and more. So yes, guys, good morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm sitting here this morning, just finished off my second cup of coffee. Just sitting here looking out the window this morning again, and it's now got really gloomy, crap, miserable. It's drizzling with rain outside. It's one of those miserable sort of like, not a nice morning. But I'm here. I've switched the record button. I'm here to talk with you for the next sort of, I don't know how many minutes I'm going to be talking to you today. Got some big stories to talk about today on the podcast, hence by the title of this podcast. But yes, we're back. And guys, thank you for your questions over the weekend. I've got through some of them over the weekend. I answered some of you directly. And obviously I'm going to answer some more of you on the podcast here today as well. So anyway, guys, before I go any further in today's podcast, just want to give out the usual shout outs here at the start of each episode. If you are a new listener to the podcast or you're a regular listener to the podcast and you would like to get in touch with us here for any questions, anything at all you want to hear me talk about on the show, you can by the following methods. You can contact us by the following methods, email, first of all, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. That's moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Social media, you can contact me on Instagram, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. You can send me a message on there. You can also check out our Facebook page, which is the Moore Army YouTube channel Facebook page. And also, I'm not on X or Twitter, by the way, in case anybody out there is wondering, you can contact me on there. I'm not available on there. You can also go to our website, which will be getting a facelift very soon, guys. We're moving servers at the moment, so we're trying to get the website all fixed up. But you can still go onto the current website and order your Moore Army merchandise for the podcast, the YouTube channel. Check out all our previous podcasts. You can check out all the vlogs on the YouTube channel. And pretty much it's like a Moore Army hub. You can check it out, which is moorearmy.co.uk. That's moorearmy.co.uk. So I'm also on Threads as well, guys, but I don't really post on Threads, to be quite honest with you. And also, yes, I'm on TikTok too. Official Matthew Moore. You can check out some of our videos on TikTok. So anyway, guys, how you all doing? Some big stories broke last night, which we're going to talk about shortly in relation to King Charles. Some breaking news last night in relation to King Charles, who has been diagnosed with cancer, which it's all over the news today. Every news outlet around the world is talking about it, which we're going to talk about that shortly. And we've got some more stories we want to talk about today as well. So, guys, how's your weekend been? My weekend was interesting, should we say. Hence why I put a vlog up last night in relation to tractors, the countryside and travelling. Yeah. Saturday was a bit of Saturday was a fun day at the weekend. Friday wasn't too bad. Well, what have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you? Well, I had a few drinks last Thursday night after the podcast last Thursday and got myself a little bit more tiddly than what I should have been. Tony didn't turn up this week again because he was spending time with his daughter, which is understandable, of course. But then obviously I was sitting watching the darts last Thursday night. I'm out there who's a big dart enthusiast. I watched the darts last Thursday night and watched this young man again, this 17-year-old prodigy, beat the world number one. Had a few pints of Guinness while watching it. Had a great night myself. Got to bed a little bit freaking late, actually. Hung out on Friday or Thursday night. Had a great night. Watched the darts. Had a good time. Had a few games of darts after myself with Lewis before Lewis went off to bed for school. The Friday, didn't do very much on Friday, to be quite honest. Sort of just pattered about. Had a day off on Friday, so I just sort of had a pretty quiet day. Didn't do very much. And then Saturday came around. Now, guys, as you all know, we all go to football on Saturday, Lewis and I, and the destination for this past Saturday was Castlederg, which is away out in the countryside. Like, you're talking like fucking nearly 100 miles away, maybe more. an hour and 45 minutes in a car, 2 hours 10 maybe on a team coach. So Lewis and I get up Saturday morning, usual stuff, back to football, obviously back on the road again. And as soon as we walked out our front door, what was sitting at the bottom of our driveway? A fucking tractor. A full-size, huge, big-ass tractor sitting at the bottom of my driveway. Couldn't believe it. The fucking thing was huge. And it was like, what the hell is going on here? Guy, where I live, there's like, behind me, there's like a set of like bungalow houses and stuff, and a lot of them have been bought over recently and renovated. This guy obviously had bought one, and in his back sort of area, there was all these massive trees, and I mean, like everything you could think of in there. And he hired 2 diggers, like 2 JCB diggers, and a big tractor and trailer to take all this shit away. That's how big these trees were and all this crap. So, yeah, guys, you'll see it in the vlog if you go and watch it on the YouTube channel. We walked to the front of the house and it was like, holy shit. And that's why I said in the vlog, like, Lewis, we're going to Castlederg in a fucking tractor. And it was quite a really impressive piece of machinery. Now, I'm not into farming or any of that other stuff, but yeah, this thing was fucking huge, and Lewis was shocked by the size of it. That was a good start to the day. Travelling to Castlederg was pretty smooth, down with one of our coaches and one of our new goalkeepers that we just signed during the January transfer window, guy who's actually been at Swansea City and Southampton. Great lad, chatting away and stuff. So we finally got to Castlederg, usual stuff. Everywhere you go down there, you see animals and fucking everything you think of. Now, we came down on our way through Castlederg. I've never actually been through the town before, but I must say, actually, I've seen a lot more in Castlederg than what I thought I would have seen. There was quite a lot in there, more than what I thought. And it looked like a half-decent wee town. So I must say, it was pretty good. The game itself, went to the match on Saturday. We won 5-0. Like last time we went down there, every time we go down there, it's always a tough game to go. Went down there on Saturday and won 5-0. And Lewis done a very good job on Saturday too. He took loads of pictures and pitch side videos for the Inside Matchday video, and all guys want to go and check it out on YouTube. Well, there's TVs on there. You can go and check out the footage from Lewis and myself and all the work we done. Interviews after the game and whatnot if you're a big football fan. You'll see me interviewing the manager and obviously one of the players as well. So, but overall, Saturday, I mean, we come home on Saturday night from football, came home, had a bit of dinner, pretty much done nothing. Typical Saturday night for me. Spent the night on my own, doing not very much as usual. Which is, honestly, I'm getting used to it now, because again, it's the joys, isn't it? Like when your kids grow up and they fucking go and do their own thing and you're left sitting on your Todd. But no, I mean, Saturday was decent. Sunday was a bit of a disappointing day for us as well, because Liverpool got fucking chinned on Sunday by Arsenal. Sunday was a pretty quiet day. We're still doing some work to the house in a minute, guys, upstairs. Lewis's room should hopefully be finished this week. Between fixing walls and painting, we're trying to do that in between working and doing other things as well, as you're trying to find times in the evening times to fix things. We're hopefully getting a couple of new floors laid down this week as well. I'm getting fresh coated paint in my room as well, and then we're going to hit Brooke's room too. So it's all pretty argy-bargy at the minute upstairs, trying to get everything organised, between trying to balance between work and travelling and figuring everything else in between it. I don't know. It's a flipping nightmare. But yes, the weekend itself, guys, pretty productive weekend. Not a bad weekend. I was talking to a few of you last night on Instagram. Some of you were saying that you were away for the weekend. I got a lovely message from a couple who said they were going to a lovely hotel to celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary. So that was obviously nice to hear from you guys. But apart from that, guys, it's been a pretty okay sort of last few days since the last time I spoke to you here on the podcast. Apart from Thursday night, obviously I was a wee bit tiddly after a few too many Guinnesses and a few beers. But here's the thing in relation to Guinness. For the love of me, until recently, I would have not even smelt a pint of Guinness. I took a minute sip of it years ago and didn't like it. I thought, oh no, God, hell no. But it was, who was it got me trying it? I can't even remember now. I think it was maybe Tony, I can't even remember. But bought a few Guinnesses one night, and I thought, right, I'll keep them in my fridge and I'll try them one night and see how the crack is. Now, the first one's always got an acquired taste to it. It's better if it's ice cold. Some people drink it at room temperature. I drink it when it's like cold. I prefer a beer to be ice cold, or a pint of Guinness to be ice cold. The first one's a bit, it's like drinking fucking firewood. But anyway, that's the way it tastes for me. But see, once you get past the first one, you're grand. You drink it all night. Only problem is it does give you bad wind the next day. Believe it or not, my mum actually likes Guinness, so she does. Tony would drink it, not as much as what he would used to in the past. I know a lot of boys who would drink Guinness, but yeah, I've sort of come around to it a wee bit recently, and I've started having a few pints of it here and there. And do you know something? It's actually not that bad. Once you get the acquired taste of it, it isn't actually that bad. So it isn't so. But how do you feel them? As I said, you watched the darts last Thursday night, and I wasn't even hungover the next day. I was just really, really fucking tired, to be quite honest. Really, really tired on Friday, but I got up and get on with it as you always have to. You know what I mean? When you got to get up the next morning to get your son off to school, and you got to go and be productive the next day. But anyway, yes, that was pretty much my weekend. So again, guys, as I said to you last night, I was sitting there going through some of the messages on Facebook, Instagram, emails and whatnot. I was replying to some of you guys directly last night, so it was good chatting to some of you. Some of you replied to me right away, especially on Instagram, which was great. Just having wee bits and bobs chats with a few of you, obviously, and some of you were so kind to say, you love the podcast and you love watching the YouTube videos and all. So guys, thank you for that. As I always say every week, I do appreciate everything that you do send to me every week. And yeah, I love hearing from you all. So it's great chatting to you last night, especially on Instagram. Some of you were a little bit quick with it last night, which I enjoyed. It was good fun. So, but no, it was good talking to you. So, yes, I've got some more questions to answer from you for later on. But anyway, let's get into some of the stories on the podcast today, guys. The biggest story is definitely coming out from, obviously, King Charles. The news broke last night. I was actually at Mum and Dad's yesterday for an hour or so. I called round the bar, a drill off Dad, and Mum had the TV on. That's when the news broke last night about 6 o'clock. King Charles, who hasn't been king that long, to be quite honest, has been diagnosed with cancer. Now, we all know he was in hospital there not that long ago getting a procedure done, and that's where they came across the cancer. And they've caught it quickly. They've caught it soon. They've caught it really early. So it's looking like, he's in having treatment now right away. Last I checked this morning, he had spent the night at his home after, beginning outpatient cancer treatment. It was obviously announced yesterday that it happened. And again, I'm still looking into more information about this. Obviously, a lot of you guys have been contacting me last night saying, are you going to talk about it on the podcast today? Yes, I am. I've had a few people come in, obviously have their concerns for the king, and some people who don't like the king, and then obviously a lot of people coming in and saying, they're a wee bit pissed off the fact that he's being pushed to the front of the line in relation to treatment whenever there's millions of people out there who were left to wait and die and stuff like that because of the whole COVID nonsense and all that stuff. There's been a whole mixture of reports. When I was online this morning doing a bit of research and doing a bit of looking around, the feelings are obviously mixed. People are saying that they're obviously concerned about him and stuff like that. People are sort of a little bit annoyed because of the fact that he's being walked straight into getting treatment and stuff. Guys, you could chat about this all day, but at the end of the day, the bottom line, he's still a human being. And, again, yes, he will get the best of treatment because obviously he's the king of the country. You know what I mean? He's one of the most powerful men on the planet. And again, a lot of you have been obviously coming in, sending your well wishes to him and stuff like that. And I was reading some posts online and other bits and pieces as well. People from all around the world have come out and obviously made public statements, the like of the Prime Minister. We don't even want to talk about that. We fucking Rowan Rat lookalike. He's an Norway moron too. I've seen a clip of him this morning and Piers Morgan making a bet about putting the people, the immigrants on the planes for Rwanda. Made me fucking sick watching that. But I've had people from all around the world making big top people, making obviously statements and stuff. But again, he's the king. He's the guy that rules the country. And again, we're obviously going to keep an eye on this story as it progresses over the next few days. At the moment, he's been told to take time away. His son William's going to be doing a lot more of his duties, should we say, over the next few weeks and months ahead. And then obviously we hear the stories about Harry. Now, guys, how I feel about Harry and Meghan on this podcast. I've been talking about Harry and Meghan on this podcast since the first inception. Harry and Meghan, the two drama queens who live in America, who thinks the fucking world spins around them. But now Harry's on his way back home to see his dad. Apparently, Charles had contacted both his sons and told them that obviously what the diagnosis was and stuff. So obviously Harry's on his way back home as we speak. Probably he's heading back home today, actually. He can leave fucking Meghan in America, so he can, that drama queen. There's a lot of stories going around this morning saying that is this going to be the thing that brings the family back together? Obviously everybody knows all the ins and outs of the stuff about Harry and Meghan, and him and William not speaking, and the whole thing over last Christmas, and all the stuff about Meghan and all that bullshit we've talked about on the podcast over the last, I don't know how many fucking episodes now. But apparently he's on his way home. And by reading through some social media comments from different people and stuff like that, people are mixed about, Harry coming back and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's his dad, you know what I mean? And it's his father, and it's obviously not a nice thing to go through. Trust me. Cancer in a family with a family member is not a nice thing to go through. Believe me. Guys have been there. It's not nice, trust me. But yes, that's pretty much the big story at the moment going on in the world right now, that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. Now, apparently, that's been come out today, that they have caught it early and they're going to get rid of it. So, again, he will get the best of treatment. But again, I've been reading a lot of your comments and different people talking online as well, saying, they're disappointed because he gets pushed straight to the line, while there's millions of people sitting out there waiting who have been waiting for a long time for treatment. People were left to die because of the treatment, not getting treatment and stuff like that, because of the whole COVID lockdown bullshit and all. There's a whole big plethora of comments from different people, not just towards me, just what I've been reading online. And then obviously you get the people saying obviously they're concerned about him, they want him to get well soon and all that there. It's a whole big debate. But what's going on? But at the end of the day, guys, he's a royal. He's the king. He's the guy who rules the roost. He's the boss. You know what I mean? So he will obviously get the best of treatment. And again, the bottom line is he's a human being, and we don't want to see cancer on anybody, because at the end of the day, it's a horrible, horrible disease, and it's a killer, and it can take people, which is horrible. So, but again, over the next couple of days, we'll keep an eye on this story, because obviously it's a major breaking story to talk about here on the podcast. But again, guys, I want to hear your views on it. So if you want to contact me on the email, mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com, or you can contact me on social media. I would love to hear your views on this breaking story from yesterday evening. I actually was considering recording the podcast early and putting it out last night, but I didn't get really much time to do it last night. But yes, King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. So, guys, let me know what you think about this. As I said to you, if you're listening to us here on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music or whatever source you have, get on the social media and let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear from you guys, because at the end of the day, it's a major breaking story, and obviously I would like to hear from you about it, and let me hear what your thoughts of it all is. Right, I want to talk about the Norby situation here. A few of these have been popping up over the last couple of months, and I want to talk about it on the podcast today. Anybody out there who is an animal owner? Now, currently I'm not an animal owner, for the simple reason is I don't have time for animals at the minute, because of obviously me not being here all the time and just not having the time for it. And obviously Brooke and Lewis are way doing their own thing too as well now, so we have no time for this. So, but I read a wee story again about another situation where dogs especially attacking people, innocent people. There was a grandmother in England who was attacked by a dog and killed. Esther Martin, who was 68, she was injured inside a home in Clacton on Sea in Essex on Saturday afternoon. She was murdered by this dog. Now, again, who was to blame for this? I've read about more into this story over the last couple of days since it happened. These dogs apparently were unregistered XL bully dogs, apparently they're called. I don't know, couldn't tell you, but these dogs were not registered and they were illegal dogs to have, and this woman was killed. Now here's my point on it, guys. I've nothing against dogs, right? Millions of people in the world have dogs, but it's how you treat them and how you bring them up. I know I've seen people out there with these certain types of dogs, and they automatically think, yeah, especially in this country, they're like, yeah, these dogs are hard as fuck. These dogs will rip your legs off. These dogs are trained to fight. But there's my mum and dad's dog, for example. A Patterdale, it's called. They're normally, I know this probably sounds horrible, but from what I know about the history of Patterdale, they're like hunting type dogs, outside dogs, that live in farms and fields and they go down hunting and stuff like that. Mum and dad have a Patterdale, and I tell you what, there's not a bad bone in that dog's body. That dog is one of the most softest, kindest dog, because that's the way mum and dad have brought the dog up. You've seen my mum and dad's dog in my vlogs. Wouldn't harm a fly. She's that soft, she sits in the back garden, and birds fly down and steal her food from her dish in the back garden, and the dog just sits there and looks at them. You know what I mean? It's just like, people just sort of label certain types of dogs with like, oh yeah, they're hard as fuck, they'll rip your head off and all, and that's just the way they're being brought up to be a certain way. But there's an innocent person attacked and killed. I don't blame the dogs, I blame the fucking owners. You get all these dogs that are aggressive and violent and want to rip your head off at the blink of an eye and just looking at you. Then you get these other dogs that are just yappy, whiny bastards because, again, they're spoiled rotten, or they're being neglected, or they're not being looked after right, or whatever the situation is. And again, do you blame the owner, or do you blame the dog? Who do you blame? But at the end of the day, there's another person who's just been killed because of this. And again, having an animal, a dog, a cat, or whatever, it's all about bringing it up correctly. You know what I mean? If you don't bring it up correctly, it's like a child. You bring up a child wrongfully, it's going to go out when it's older and it becomes an adult. It's not going to know right from wrong. It's going to go out and commit crime and cause problems. I'm not saying the fucking cat or dog is going to cause problems like that. But I mean, you know what I mean? If you don't teach a dog from a puppy or a cat from a kitten what's right and wrong, then obviously they're not going to understand. Or, on the other side of it, say you treat it like a fucking baby, and it's used to being treated like a baby, and as soon as you leave it for more than 5 minutes, it's going to go fucking boogaloo. It's going to yap and cry and whinge and bitch, because it's going to get separation problems. It's the same for anything. In most occasions, I don't blame the dog, I blame the owner. That's the way I look at it. But reading that story about that woman, saying, no, an innocent woman was killed by these so-called unregistered dogs. And the story broke the other day. It was the family of the woman who was killed are now concerned about the way certain dogs are kept. And it's true, though. Because, I mean, no offence, but I know people who treat their dogs like fucking babies. And again, and I know our dogs, people who treat their dogs like fucking walking around the streets. Yeah, rip their head off, train them to be nasty bastards and train them to be angry all the time and aggressive. And no. My mum and dad's dog, for example, Sheila, class in a category of like a hunting dog. But see, when you see Sheila, she would lick the face clean off you. She would jump all over you and lick you till your face turned all slobbery, and she'd hug you. And that dog is the most lovable thing in the world. Because you know why? Because mum and dad taught her from a puppy how to be nice to people and not to be aggressive and nasty. And obviously runs down in her history of obviously other dogs before her. And obviously they've taught her right from wrong, certain things not to do and whatever else. And she's one of the most lovable dogs in the world. Lovable dogs in the world. But then you see these other ones out there, again, as I said to you, especially people who have like wee tiny dogs, keep them in their purse. You ever see them Japanese women walk around with their wee doggies in their purse, treat them like wee fucking babies, and then as soon as they leave them for more than 2 minutes, they become yappy bastards? I know people who have dogs, and as soon as they walk out the fucking door, they're going boogaloo because they're not getting attention. Not getting attention at all, full stop. So who's to blame for this? Is it the owner or is it the animal? It's even the same for cats as well. Cats are the same too. You got to teach a cat how to use a cat litter, or pee outside and poo outside, not piss all over your sofa and wreck your house and do whatever else. It's like years ago whenever we had cats. You know, I mean, we taught it from day one, where you can't do this, you can't do that. You're not allowed into the bedrooms because, long story into that, certain things you're not allowed to do inside the home, and the cats learned as the weeks went by that you can't go a certain place, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't piss it on the floor, you can't shit on the floor, there's a litter tray, or you go outside. It's like a child. But again, this family is concerned about, how certain animals are being treated, especially dogs, whether they're being, treated properly, brought up right, because people, I've seen these things before, not just with my own two eyes, but obviously you see all these different things on the likes of social media and on the news, whatever else. People are breeding dogs to be killers, like, hunting dogs and racing. It just, you could talk about it all day. But an innocent woman has been killed in England because of this, and in my opinion, they should look at more into this, because in the last year especially, I've seen a few stories where like children have been attacked for no reason, having half their face fucking ripped off by animals, because it's just the way they've been bred. They've been bred to be aggressive and nasty. I've seen an horror story there from I think it was a couple in Scotland, treated their dog like a fucking baby. I mean, like, literally treated this dog like a baby. And because it wasn't getting all the attention, when they finally had a baby, and when the baby came along, because the dog wasn't getting all the attention, the dog attacked the fucking baby. I'm sorry, but if I had a baby and a dog attacked my baby, the dog would be fucking dead. No offense to the animal lovers out there, but that's my child, and I wouldn't tolerate. But who was to blame for that? In my opinion, I would blame the owners, because the owners brought the dog up to be like a baby. So, I mean, again, it's all about how you bring the animal up. I've had dogs in my family over the years. We've had family dogs who lived for years and years and years. Mum and dad had the dogs in a routine where, they weren't allowed to do certain things, and they weren't allowed, obviously, to train, to obviously go to the toilet outside or whatever, and, what was right and what was wrong, what you couldn't do, just basic dog stuff. We've had cats as well, and it was exactly the same. We had cats that lived for years. So with that, even when I was married, we had a cats and dogs. But again, as soon as you get it from a puppy, you got to teach it from right from wrong. As soon as you get it from a kitten, teach it right from wrong. But again, I've seen a few stories pop up over the last couple of months about innocent people being attacked by different animals because of a lot of reasons. And I think it needs to be looked into, to be honest with you personally. But again, that's just my opinion. Okay, guys, some sad news in the podcast. I've actually been asked questions by you guys over the last couple of weeks about my favourite TV shows and whatever else. And then one of you asked me, I think it was last week, you asked me about Only Fools and Horses, my favourite scene from the actual show. Some sad news coming out of that show. A character who was played by Michael Jaston. He played the character of Raquel's dad. He was the guy, the antique dealer who found the famous watch that made Rodney and Del Boy millionaires. Unfortunately, he passed away. It was announced there, I think it was yesterday. He had died at the age of 88. The cause of death was announced by the family. He appeared in a lot of big TV shows over the years. He played ITV, BBC. He was in a lot of big shows over the years. But I came across him, obviously, a couple of big shows, small shows, and then obviously whenever he became Raquel's dad in Only Fools and Horses, back in the early 2000s, whenever Del Boy and Rodney became millionaires. He unfortunately passed away in the last few days, which was kind of sad, at the age of 88. He was a very well-known actor and loved by a lot of people. A lot of people have come out over the last 24, 48 hours and, and paid tribute to the man, especially David Jason as well. And different people have obviously made their paid their tributes to him, which is kind of sad, really. There's another cast member gone. I mean, in recent years, we've lost the guys who played the likes of Boise and Trigger, and obviously, the guy who played Mike behind the bar, he died a long time ago. Uncle Albert's passed away, a long time ago as well. The guy who played Grandad, he died during the tapings of I think it was the second series he passed away, if I remember, back in the 80s. I mean, Del Boy himself's in his 80s now as well. In fact, it's his birthday today, so it is. So, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, another part of a puzzle of another great TV show is now no longer here. So sad, but this is part of life, guys. It's just so sad. Just when I saw the news, I was like, oh no way, another one gone. So sad. So it is. I mean, we lost another guy the other day as well. The guy who played Apollo in the Rocky movies, he passed away the other day, 79 I think he was. So I mean, a lot of the greats from the past are, it's part of life, guys, which is kind of sad. But here's the thing, a couple of these stories here today that I saw this morning, and again, guys, I'm talking about things that are in the news and things that really trigger me as a person, and I'm obviously being like specific points and stuff. I've seen certain stories. I mean, I've talked about all different funny things, but I saw this one this morning, which wasn't funny, of course. Terrorist who killed 3 people allowed to stay in Britain under a series of woeful errors. A terrorist who murdered 3 people was allowed to stay in the country after a series of woeful Home Office errors. I'm not being offensive, guys, but I can't even pronounce his fucking name. He murdered James Furlong, age 36, Joseph Richie Bennett, 39, and David Walls, 49, back in June 2020. Now an inquest has now heard that the gentleman has been wrongly granted 5 years humanitarian. Couldn't even get that out this morning. Leave to remain here by the Home Office. He's allowed to stay in the UK even though he's illegal, after killing 5 people. Like, what is going on? Oh, I just don't know, guys. I got an email, actually. I was reading the email last night, and from a guy, which he asked me not to give his name on the podcast, but I'm not going to, out of respect to what he requested. But he lives in London, and he's a brother who lives in Birmingham. And he was telling me last night in his email that the amount of crime in London now is raising because of all these ones coming in from the different countries. Birmingham's the same. He said his brother has seen so many stabbings and shootings up there. And again, when they're all being arrested, they're all coming from a different background. Now, I'm not being racist or anything in all way, shape or form here, so any of you fucking woke dopes out there hear me talking now, you can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. But when I saw this here, people illegally in the country who are murdering people and not being deported from the country, is kind of fucked up. I used to work for the Passport Service a long time ago, and I remember dealing with people from different countries who were aggressive, very demanding, and when we told them a certain criteria they had to meet to get a passport, the amount of abuse we used to get by email, by telephone calls, stuff from the passport office in the likes of Glasgow, London, Liverpool, all these different offices that we used to get. Durham was another one too. We used to get I remember one day I had to call this guy back from the office in Belfast, and he was on the phone screaming at me, why won't you give me a fucking passport? And I'm going, well, your criteria is this. Nationalised as a British citizen, have to live in the country a certain period of time, you have to be nationalised as a British citizen, X, Y, and Z. And for you to process your application, you have to go for an appointment, you got to do this, you got to do that. Blah, blah. Oh, you're doing this to me because of my blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's the rules. Now, I haven't worked for the passport service in quite a while, so obviously things have probably changed now since I worked there. But again, because I even had people I had to do callbacks now with from the office, and they were saying, like, how long have you been in the country? 2 months, a month. Can I get a British passport? And I'm like, are you fucking serious? So, again, when I see this here story, I mean, they're now killing people, and the government's giving them right to remain in the country. It just baffles me. It really, 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 really baffles me. But again, I just don't know, guys. It's worrying. So it is. It really is worrying as a British citizen. You know what I mean? So, okay. Our wee story here today before we go into some of your questions. Any boxing fans out there? Tyson Fury fans out there? Tyson Fury was due to fight on the 17th, I think it was, this month. And it's been postponed because apparently Fury got a cut above his eye in training. And the internet is going fucking boogaloo over it all. So they are. They're going absolutely boogaloo. So, Tyson Fury's then obviously done an interview recently and come out and said, he's obviously hit back at it all. Fans are obviously not happy about this as the fight was supposed to happen, but it's been announced now that apparently the fight will take place in May. Obviously, a lot of unhappy fans, obviously it was supposed to happen in Saudi Arabia, so obviously a lot of fans are not happy, especially anybody who wanted to travel over there from the UK, which I'm sure there's probably a few over there who wanted to travel to Saudi on the 17th. Again, he's come out and he's done an interview saying he's hit back at the people saying, it's just it happens, a cut above the eye and blah blah blah. But it's absolutely crazy. So it is, and there's a lot of boxing fans up in arms about it all, and they're not happy. But again, the fight is being arranged for May. So any boxing fans out there are wanting to know when the fight's going to take place again, it'll take place in May. I was going to watch the fight on the 17th, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now you got to wait until May, guys, before it happens. So any boxing fans out there, if you were looking forward to seeing the Tyson Fury fight, they'll be expecting to see it on the 17th of this month anytime soon. Right, I'm going to get into some of your questions on today's podcast. I'm so organised, but I'm disorganised today, guys, as I'm sitting here this morning at the table here, trying to get some questions for you. Right, I'll do the emails first today. As I said to you guys, I sat down yesterday, and answer some of your emails last night personally. For what I see this morning here, some of you have replied to me again, which is good. But ones I haven't replied to, obviously I'll answer now here on the podcast today. So, but again, I did spend I'd say well over an hour last night on Instagram and Facebook and the emails and stuff, just sort of answering questions and having banter with a few of you guys, as we like to say here in Northern Ireland. So it was great to talk to a few of you last night on social media, especially. So it was good fun. I had a really good chat with some of you as well. So, but anyway, let's get into some of the emails here today on the podcast. Right, I've one here from Norman. Norman on the email, which is morearmypodcast@yahoo.com, says, "Hey Matthew, I've seen some of your recent vlogs over the last year or so doing DIY work. Can I ask you, what is your favourite bit of DIY to do around the home? What is your most soothing and relaxing part of DIY, and what is your most frustrating part of DIY? Keep up the good work on the podcast, Norman." Okay, well, I find the most relaxing thing for me, well, when I say switch off from the world, is power washing outside the house. I know, power washing. Stick the earphones in, put on the welly boots, dirty old clothes, power wash the driveway, power wash the back garden, all the paths, which is actually due very soon because the whole front of my house needs fucking power wash because it's been a bad winter this winter. I also enjoy cutting the grass. I find that quite soothing as well, enjoyable. But yeah, power washing. Painting isn't too bad once you get going. It's just getting the motivation to get up and fucking do it. But once you get going, it's fine. I actually don't mind doing a bit of DIY around the house. Now, in recent years, Lewis and Brooke obviously love doing a bit of DIY. Brooke, whenever she's about home anymore, because we never really see fucking much of her now, because she's always out doing other things, or she's always working or whatever. Lewis loves building stuff. As you saw in my recent vlogs, he's been building his wee units and all for his bedroom and his new drawers and stuff. So, yeah, Lewis enjoys doing a bit of DIY too as well. But to be answer your question, Norman, I enjoy power washing and a bit of gardening too. It sort of helps. I put the earphones in and away you go. Just off you go. I'm actually looking forward to getting out and power washing that driveway of mine, because it needs done again badly. It's really, really bad. I have to go up and get some stuff to put on it first of all, and then power wash it, because it's really bad. So it is. But yes, thank you for your question, Norman, and thank you for listening to the podcast. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Let's get on to another one here on the email. Right, I've one here from Jacob. Jacob on the email has wrote to me saying, "Hey Matthew, love listening to the podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. It's glad to see you back again after being sick for the last few weeks. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling a lot better? Because you sounded a lot better in last week's podcast." Yes, do you feel a lot better actually? Well, just get a bit more sleep, it'd be lovely. Just wanted to drop you an email to say hi and keep up the good work with the podcast. Enjoy the videos on YouTube as well. Been a fan of your YouTube channel for nearly 3 years now. Keep up the great work. Okay, thank you, Jacob. Means a lot. Let's move on to another one here now. Let's have a look and see. Right, I've one here from Gordon. Gordon on the email, mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. has said to me, "Hey Matthew, what is your plans for this coming summer? Do you have any holidays planned? Are you returning to Blackpool, or are you going somewhere else?" I think someone asked me that a few weeks ago. Keep up the good work on the podcast. Love listening to it while I'm out on my evening walks with my dog. Okay, well thank you for that. That's the thing. Holidays, yes. I don't think we're going back to Blackpool this year. Lewis and I will only be the ones going on holiday this year, because Brooke is going on holiday with Paul, her boyfriend, and his family. So Paul came on holiday with us last year. She's going on holiday with Paul's family this year. This will be the first holiday without Brooke, and it's heartbreaking, but it's to be expected, because obviously she's a grown adult and she's doing her own thing. Excuse me. But Lewis and I have been talking about a few places, maybe Spain, or Portugal. Lewis did mention Greece to me, but I don't want to go to Greece just yet. A lot of reasons behind it, guys. That's a reason why, but we're looking into a few different things. We've got a few wee trips booked up here over the half-term holidays and Easter and stuff like that. In fact, Lewis and I are off to another trip to watch Liverpool play here this month, which we just booked there yesterday. We're hoping to get to a couple of games actually before the end of the season, before Mr. Klopp decides to leave, which I'm praying every day that he changes his mind, which it probably won't happen. But yes, summer holiday, we're definitely going on one. But where we're going, I know it's February now, and you're probably thinking, Matthew, you should have this booked. I know I really should, but we've been talking. We've seen a few wee deals knocking about and stuff like that for Lewis. Now it's going to be really weird, the fact that it's only Lewis and I going. But this is the thing. This is what happens. And then whenever he gets older, he'll probably move away, and I'll be going on holiday on my own. So it will be. Yeah. So, and before you people out there ask, no, I don't have a girlfriend right now, because some of you have been asking me out on Instagram last night if I got a new girlfriend. No, I don't. So I won't be going on holiday with anybody, only myself. Because some of you were asking me last night, have you not got yourself a woman yet? No, I don't. I am still on my own. So I am. So, but yes, holiday wise, no, not at the minute. Nothing. Not well. Yes, we're going away, but I don't know where the hell we're going. I'm not a clue. Right, I want to go on the Instagram here now, guys. You want to send me a message on Instagram or follow me on Instagram? It's official Matthew Moore on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. Right, let's get in here and see here. Right, I've one here from Cain, spelled C-A-I-N. Cain. Cain says to me, "Hey Matthew, I know you and Lewis play a lot of games. I met you and Lewis before in Belfast. You did tell me that you do play games, but can I ask you, what do you think of the game Fortnite? Do you play it? I know Lewis plays it on his YouTube channel, but do you ever play Fortnite? Thank you for answering my question." Well, there you go, Ken. No, I don't play Fortnite. I tried it, didn't like it. I actually walked into Lewis's room the other night whenever we were doing stuff. I was putting a couple of wee shelves and stuff up for him, and he was playing like a racing game thing on. I thought it was a racing game that he downloaded onto his new gaming PC he got for Christmas, when it was actually in Fortnite, and I was going, yeah, it's pretty cool. But in regards to Fortnite, Ken, no, I don't play it. I don't. I can't stand. I don't like it. I tried it, didn't like it. It was like years ago when I tried to play what our games were playing years ago when they were younger. Minecraft, Roblox. No, only games I ever really would play would be the likes of a Call of Duty or Battlefield games, football, WWE, golf. Played a lot of golf games. What else would I play? Retro games. I bought a retro gaming stick off TikTok shop there a few months ago, and I tell you what, guys, it's the best thing I ever fucking bought. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of retro games. And I actually sat one night with Tony when we were having a few beers and played it when we were half pissed. And it was funny because we were playing games that we used to play whenever we were small kids. Like N64 games and PS1 games and all on this Fire Stick. It's all on TikTok. I think the stick cost like 20 quid and it came with 2 controllers. And I tell you what, I have an absolute field day on that. I just stick it on every so often and go back to all the old FIFA games from back in the 90s and all the old games like Mario and Sonic and all the old retro arcade games, the arcade games that I used to play when I was a kid in the arcade when I was like younger than Lewis. Telling you, good times. Best 20 quid I ever spent. So it is. But a store thing on TikTok and I thought, I'll give it a go and see what the crack is. Bang, there it was. It was like, holy shit. Unbelievable. Best thing I ever bought. But to answer your question, no, I don't play Fortnite. So I don't. So there you go. Hope that clears that up for you. Right, we want to go into another question here. Let's have a look here and see on Instagram. Right, one here from Juliet. Hello, Juliet on Instagram. How you doing, Juliet? Says, hey, Matthew, I know you talk about politics in your podcast sometimes, but I just wanted to ask you about the possibility of a united Ireland. I am from Donegal. Hello from Donegal. A beautiful part of the world. Never been to it, but apparently it's a beautiful part of the world. What's your view on the United Ireland situation? I know now Michelle O'Neill is now your First Minister of Northern Ireland, but what is your view on a United Ireland? I'm sort of on the fence about it all, to be quite honest with you. I think politics in Ireland and Northern Ireland is full of shit. Well, there you go. And I think it's a whole big mess up. What's your view on this? I did mention the other day about this whole nonsense about First Ministers and they're all arguing with each other and fighting each other. The circus on top of the hill, storming it's called here in Northern Ireland. My view on a United Ireland is I can't see it happening in my lifetime. Could it happen in my kid's lifetime? I don't know. There's controversy everywhere. Politics is bullshit. I don't get involved in politics. I only give a review now and again and all. Would I like to see United Ireland? No. I think it would screw this country up financially. Plus, I think it would cause a lot of trouble. And I'm not being like anybody out there. I'll probably get slated for this now. People sending me messages on Instagram calling me a sectarian bastard and all this here because I've had it before from we fucking morons who haven't even got a clue what they're talking about when it comes to politics in Northern Ireland. I just can't see it happening in my time. So I can't see it happening. I really can't. But again, you never know. You know what I mean? I get people asking me questions all the time from both sides of the community saying, oh, Michelle O'Neill, you have to talk about her. She's a fucking bitch, blah, 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 blah. She's ruining this country. You have to call her this and call her that because of where you're from and who you are. Listen, I ain't getting involved in that bullshit because he wants to get sucked into that crap. He can't get out of it. Then I get ones from the other side going, oh, Matthew, you're a Protestant bastard. You're this, you're that. You know, haha, we're taking over your country. Blah, blah. Guys, you should see the messages, especially on the likes of Instagram. People politically talking bullshit to me and trying to suck me into a political conversation which I don't get involved in. I live my life the way I live my life. I get up every day and I work and I look after my kids and I look after my home and I go and watch Liverpool play and I don't bother anybody. I have a beer once a week and I kick back. I'm 43 coming here this year. I don't care about what's going on around me anymore. I even told this to Mum last night when I was sitting in her living room when they announced the news of Charles, not being well and stuff. I was like, Mum, half that bullshit you see in the news, I wouldn't even watch it. They do anything for a fucking story now. And Mum's like, oh, but no, the news can't lie and all. I'm like, Mum, listen, you come from a different generation than me. You come from a generation where back in your day it was like the news was gospel. So it was. So I don't get involved in all that political bullshit because I know a lot of boys who feel very strongly about wanting the United Ireland, and then on the other side of the fence, I know a lot of boys from Belfast who are so against it, it's unreal. Fucking no chance, no United Ireland, it's always going to be... Guys, I just live my life day by day by day. I don't get sucked into all that bullshit because no matter what you say and no matter what you do, it's never right, especially when you're in the public eye like me. I could say something on this podcast. I could turn around here, for example, now, as an example, by the way, in case anybody gets triggered out there. No United Ireland, blah, 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 blah. And then I have a big flock of other side of the community coming into me on social media and saying, oh, you're a sectarian, you're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. And then I could turn around and say, the other side of the fence, I would even get hammered even more because I come from a Protestant family. Oh, I agree with it. No, United Ireland be good and all. And then all of a sudden I would get a big backlash from the Protestant community, all swarming in, nailing me against the wall and saying, I dare you fucking say that. Da, da, da. This is why I just get up every day. I live my life. I go through my life every day. I work hard. I pay all my bills. I look after my kids. As long as there's food on the table and a roof over my head. See whatever happens outside the gate of my house. I couldn't give a fuck. As time has went on, and as I've got older, I give less and less a fuck every day. See, as I say, I tell everybody, you bring drama to my door, you're out of my life. People come to me and go, they need help or whatever, fine, I'm there for them. But if they bring consistent drama and bullshit and negative, bye, door slammed, go away. Don't want to know. That's just the way I live now. You may think, you're living very a bit like a hermit. I'd rather live like that and getting sucked into all the drama and the bullshit that goes on in this country especially. And also the UK and everywhere else that goes on around it. Because the more you get sucked into it, it's more of a headache. So my view on it is, if it happens, it happens. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. Because there's obviously going to be people there who are going to fight against it. And that's my opinion on it. Politics in this country is a fuck up. Like, they haven't been up and storming for how long now have they had a government in this country? Going on nearly 2 years. And now they're all getting back up there again, and now they're all fighting each other again, and they're arguing and saying, I don't want this one to be minister, I don't want that one to be this, no, blah, blah, blah. Do what you have to do. I get up, I do what I have to do in my day. I don't bother anybody. I keep my circle of people in my life extremely small now. I mean extremely small. Especially in the last nearly 2 years or so. I've cut a lot of people out of my life who were projecting negativity onto me. Was them me projecting out negativity towards our people that caused me a lot of hurt and heartache. So I made a decision to say, right, I'm not being around those type of people because it's projecting onto me, and then I'm projecting on the other people. And when it's them put out the other people, then I'm hurting our people or whatever else, and it's not a way to be. No, not happening. Guys, I'll be honest with you, I don't bother with many people anymore. And that's a total truth. The only people I really bother with, obviously I go to football on Saturday, I know all the football team and the boys in the club and the fans and all that there. That's about it. Outside of that bubble, the only people I really bother with in my life right now is my family. Because I make that choice because it's a quieter life. It's a better life. I've said before, I love meeting new people now. 100% love meeting new people. Every day. But the point is, as I've got older, my circles get smaller. And I intend to keep it that way because of less drama, especially the way the world is now. Politics, bullshit, drama, social media, trolls, bullshit. Fuck that. Pfft. Sorry for the rant, but I just thought I'd get that out there. But thank you for your question. But again, will it happen? I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. Being totally honest. Right, let's go on and do one more Instagram. And I'll do a Facebook question And then I'll wrap it up for today. I've really been on a bit of a rant today, haven't I? Oh, the joys of being on a podcast and being unleashed. The joys. Maybe you see me when we go on video. I'll probably get kicked off fucking the YouTube channel, the podcast YouTube channel, within a week. That's just the way I am. Right, let's get on to another question on the old Instagram. Here we go. Right, let's have a look here. Right, here we are. David on here says, "Hi Matthew, I am a shoe collector. Okay, I love collecting all different types of trainers and dressy shoes. It's a bit of a hobby for yourself. Can I ask you, who's your favourite brand of shoe to wear as a trainer?" It's a bit of a random question. Okay, fair enough. To be quite honest with you, I was always a passionate person about Adidas trainers. Then New Balance came into my life whenever Liverpool were taking over the sponsorship for New Balance, which I liked those shoes for a while. Bought a new pair of Adidas shoes there a few weeks ago, as you probably saw on my vlog. But then, listen to this here. You'll probably be like going, if you're a shoe enthusiast, as you seem to be by your email, whatever floats your boat, like you want to collect shoes, that's fine. Women do that too as well. I bought a pair of shoes off TikTok there about 2 weeks ago, and they came, and I'll tell you what, they are comfortable as a motherfucker. Cheap as chips. I thought, only a few quid. When they come, let's see what they're like. They came, tried them on. Oh my God, so comfy. And I think it cost me like 10 quid or something, or 11 quid or something. One of the most comfortable pair of shoes I've had in a while. Really, really comfortable. So they are. And the sole's really thick on them. Good walking shoe. So I'm all happy with that. But to answer your question, now my son and daughter love Nike. I'm not a big fan of Nike. You know, Liverpool are made by Nike at the minute, and see the price of the fucking shoes Liverpool are at the minute for Nike trainers. Jesus Christ almighty. £200 for a pair of trainers. Brooke's boyfriend loves Nike too as well. All these young ones seem to like Nike these days. It seems to be a trend. But I love Adidas shoes because they're just there's something about them. You know, or some people call them in Northern Ireland Adidas. I call them Adidas. So I do, but I would go to Adidas because I like them. They're a comfortable shoe, and you can get them at a reasonable price compared to Nike, which is just scandalous. Some of the prices of Nike shoes is absolutely freaking scandalous. But there you go. Hope that clears that up for you. I asked you a question before going to the Facebook question before I wrap up the podcast. How many pairs of shoes do you actually have in your collection? Let me know. Send me back an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your question. My dad's brother's ex-wife now, used to be a shoe collector, collecting women's shoes, like high heels and that. And the amount of one time they were moving house, and the amount of shoes she fucking had, she could have opened up a shoe shop. Seriously, she was a nightmare for collecting shoes. Must have spent a fortune on them. Anyway, before I go here, I used to like Puma King trainers. I actually still have my old Puma King trainers I bought about 10 years ago in my wardrobe, and they're still like brand new. The old Puma King trainers, used to get them. They used to look like the football boot with the big tongue on the front. No, yeah, good shoes. They were like the football version shoes I used to have, not the boots, the actual boots, like the football version. You could play indoor football with them, or you could walk in them, or whatever. I used to like those shoes back in the day as well. So there you go. There's another pair of shoes for you. But let me know what your collection is. I'd love to hear and share with the listeners. Right, let's do a Facebook question, and then I'll go for today, guys. Don't forget, if you want to get in contact with me for Jackass of the Week this week, let me know. Send me an email or whatever else, and I'll love to hear from you for Jackass of the Week for this week. Right, let's go here and see. Let's have a wee Facebook question here and see. Oh, right. I've one here from, is it Kingsley? Kingsley. I haven't heard that name for a long time. Kingsley. Another gaming question. Hey Matthew, what's your all-time favourite gaming of all time to play? And what's your all-time favourite computer console? That's from Kingsley. Hello Kingsley. Thank you for the question. Favorite all-time game of all time? It's got to be either a FIFA game or Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic the Hedgehog back in the day on the Mega Drive. What a game it was. An iconic game. There's so many games out there I used to love playing. Big, obviously a Call of Duty fan, but I would say I'd probably be one of the FIFAs. I actually used to love playing, and you're going to laugh at this, FIFA 06 on the original Xbox. That was one of the FIFA games that I would have played. And here, I used to love that, but go back to what I said about the Fire Stick thing about the wee stick thing on TikTok shop with all the retro games. One of my favourite FIFAs is on it. FIFA Road to the World Cup 1998. What a fucking game. I used to love that game. So it'd be that game there, FIFA 95 or the original Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis as the Americans call it. What a game. I could play those games for hours on end. Love those games. So I do. Favourite console of all time? Well, there'd be a PlayStation. I did like the original Xbox though. I used to like it. Nintendo 64 was a great game. You used to get all the favourite wrestling games like WrestleMania 2000, the famous wrestling game of all time, No Mercy on the N64, the James Bond game, all them different types of games. Favourite console? PS1. I would say PS1 or my Mega Drive. I still have my Mega Drive to this day. I remember getting it bought from me in the early 90s at Christmas time. And I was in my element. I used to play that Mega Drive for hours and hours and hours on end. Still love it. I still have it in a box in my attic. Still like new. Still works. There's never an issue out of it. Still have my old Atari from back in the late 80s, early 90s as well. Still have my old Atari that I used to play for hours on end with my dad and my cousin Thomas in Belfast. We used to play that for hours on end. Playing Centipede and all them original games. Millipede and all them. Oh, them games are even on. That stick thing I bought from TikTok shop, all the old Atari games. Oh my god, man, the memories. Unbelievable. But there you are, I hope that clears that up for you. Thank you for your question. As always, everybody, I appreciate them all every week. Right, guys, that is going to wrap us up for this edition of the Moore Army podcast. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'm back on Thursday with more of your questions and obviously some news. And I'm going to have a wee bit of an argy-bargy on the podcast on Thursday. We've got Jackass of the Week coming back. Who's going to be Jackass of the Week this week? We've got a few candidates so far this week. I'm hoping to get the Jackass of the Week t-shirt out this week. Because the guy who does all my stuff for me, the t-shirts and whatnot, the designs and stuff for me, he's been away on a holiday for a few weeks, so he's back. What day are we on? Tuesday? He's back Thursday, I think it is. He's back, or Friday, with his good lady. So I'm hoping to get some stuff put out this week. We are in the middle of changing servers with our website. Our website's going to be more mobile friendly, because I know a lot of you have been complaining about the website recently, about the mobile version of it. So it'll be changing very, very soon. Bear with us. So it will be. So we'll see how it goes from there. But guys, as always, you want to contact me by the email, moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com, and obviously the social media feeds as well, guys. I'd love to hear from you. And you can still get all your great merchandise on moorearmy.co.uk as well. Well, guys, enjoy your Tuesday, your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here on Thursday. I'm off here now to get this podcast put out probably just after lunchtime today, and I've got a bit of work to do today as well. And I've also got to go to Lewis's school today, because I got to go and speak to the teacher. The joys. Because Lewis is getting to the important part of the year where his GCSEs is coming up very, very soon. Oh, Lewis is getting older. The joys. My wee boys all growing up. So until Thursday, guys, enjoy your Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you once again. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, please add us to your favourites. If you're listening to us here on the YouTube channel, please subscribe and also drop a like on this video as well. I would appreciate it. And until Thursday, I will see you back here for another episode of the Moore Army Podcast. Thanks for listening today, guys.